Good morning. Day off for me yesterday, but did spot one or two plays. I hope you did as well. Osters and Gothenburg. This was all about a red card for Osters at 0-0 and IFK Gothenburg's exceptional in-play stats. What I tend to do in a case like this, if we've still got the market's finished there. I tend to lay over 0.5 goals and then back the team. That way I've got this covered. No, I think I must have laid the draw. Yeah. Laid the draw here because it was a red carded match. Absolute dominance from Gothenburg. Yeah, just laid the draw there. This is what I'm talking about. I've been experimenting with this, but the problem with this is the loss can be compounded. I got involved quite late in this particular play. Wisla Krakow and Polonia Whittom. This was all about the in-play stats again. Wisla Krakow at 0-0. Absolutely one-way traffic stats-wise. I wish I could show you those stats. Maybe I can at Soccer 24. This was the Polish First Division, bear in mind. But I do like trading odds-on favourite matches, particularly odds-on favourite at home. My quest is to confirm whether they're performing like odds-on favourites today. Got fairly limited stats for the Polish First Division at Soccer 24, but it was fully covered on my stats feed. 12 corner kicks to 2. That tells a real story, doesn't it? Where's all the major action taking place? If you're getting that many set pieces, surely your opponent's going to crack at some point, are they? So that's the first standout stat, the corner kicks. But if you looked at the shots on target, shots off target and corners, it was consistent pressure throughout. So I was quite happy. If you're looking at the opponent as well, only the 2 shots on target, 4 for the whole match. So I was slanted towards the 1.53 home favourite, who were looking like they would do it. So I lay over 0.5 goals. This comes with risks because it's a long way down. And then I back Wisla Krakow with, I think it was £40 at 2.62. Cash out at 1.19 when they score to make it 1-0. Of course, you're scuppered. You're going to make a double loss if Polonia Bytom make it 0-1. But I've got 3 out of 3 so far with this. And you can see it just adds a little bit extra to the profit for the day. I could show you that, but the difference is between the lay of over 0.5 goals, on Wisla. The difference in profit will be between this, covering the 0-0, and this. So it's not necessarily a trade. It is a trade. You're anticipating that Wisla will score the next goal. And you're covering the 0-0 in case they don't. Midland and Randers, this is your typical old reliable conceding the first goal. They only had the second half to get the win. But thankfully, they were very, very efficient yesterday. I didn't have to wait long to cash out. So delighted with that. I had to wait longer for this website to get back up. So let's have a look at Midland. This is what you should be looking for. And when you trade regularly, you'll know the old reliables. Midland, 1.66 home favourite. Bit like Wisla. No coincidence, I honed in on the odds-on favourites at home. My job then is to make sure they're performing like odds-on favourites. Not quite, though, with a 46-minute lead for Randers. But that's the avenue in. Laying over 1.5 goals, very, very short odds, is a good sign as well that there'll be goals coming. Early 46-minute goal, 52nd minute. Cho Gui Sung doing the job. Getting yellow carded for taking his shirt off, no doubt. And Dyer getting the winner in the 63rd minute. So all done pretty much with half an hour to go. lovely, jubbly. And you can see that minus insurance is still a very decent return. This, I got caught out again yesterday. Parma and Torino. I was expecting a very quiet match. So with that in mind, when Parma scored first, I expected them not to follow up. And indeed, I got that correct. I got the 1-1, but I didn't cash out of the 1-1. And that was my mistake. Again, just distracted. And it cost me money because we got that late 2-1 Pellegrino winner. So obviously these two, ordinarily against other opponents, very, very tight. And Torino still having that 2-goal problem. That's why I should have cashed out this lot, scoring 2 goals. It's once in a blue moon. So another mistake for me. Like the equaliser for Liverpool against Crystal Palace, I should have cashed out there. Cashed out of the Crystal Palace loss. Cashed out of that at 1-1 when the odds are about 9 or 10. That can leave me with a small loss on the draw. Still at 49 if Liverpool win. But more importantly, if Palace get the late winner, what will happen? I will be okay. Why did I not do it there? But I did do it with ADO Den Haag, who hopefully I can show you. I got them sorted out. I got rid of all the liability and they went on and won. So just some sloppiness on my part costing me some profit. For example, that little mistake there cost me that £40 liability plus an extra 12 quid I would have made had I cashed out there. So a day of about £40 profit yesterday could have turned into 80 or 90. So just have to be careful. And you have to decide, when do I cash out? When do I cash out? It's not showing. Okay. It's about 40 quid profit yesterday, which I like. Nice and easy. I'm looking forward to today, the Champions League. It's been a very good, there we go, 40 quid. Had I got out of this, that would be up to 80. And I would have made the profit as well. That would have been up to about 92 quid. It's just for that one little error there. But still come out with a green. So I'm delighted with that. Looking on to today. And I've done a whole raft of reports for members. I've got this new AI, which is just very, very quick in analysing matches. Very, very quick. And overall, very accurate. Its decision making provides reasoning as well. So I'm doing as many of those matches as I can for members each day, and I'll do the Premier League ones for non-members for the weekend. I quite like the AFC Champions League. I've made some money on this tournament, predominantly, again, focusing on odds-on favourites. Predominantly odds-on favourites from Qatar, Saudi Arabia and Dubai when they are at home. What tends to happen? They magically concede the first goal, magically equalise. Suddenly there's 20, 30 minutes extra time because it's 1-1, and then they magically get the winner. Fantastic stuff. What's that from Al Ittihad and Al Saad today? I'll be following these matches, and I'll be following all odds on favourites at home today. We do have an in-play stats feed for the AFC Champions League. It is liquid enough earlier on in the day, so quite happy to follow this throughout. But some of the other matches can be difficult to unpack. English Championship, as I say, I've done the research for all members, all matches for all members. Let's just take a peek at one or two of these which catch the eye. Right, so what do we note here? Well, I've asked the analysis to note any new managers. Significant managerial change just before the start of 2025 for the Owls. Looking at recent form, not too hot, is it? Long-term absences, a few injuries as well, so that's notable for Brummy, and a few sidelines as well. So it's picking up these, which is excellent. This is my favourite part of the analysis, is the key trading areas, key trading stats. Birmingham, 20% of their home matches this season have seen over 2.5 goals. 75% of Sheffield Wednesday's away matches have featured overs. So they're not pulling together. I would prefer to see two sides generating the overs, not just biased towards the one. Champions League average for both teams to score, okay. Sheffield Wednesday, 67% in their head-to-head encounters, 57% of the previous 23 meetings. Well, that's just AI being AI, isn't it? It doesn't realise that a lot of those meetings are absolutely redundant because they don't involve any of today's players. Expected goals. These are wrong. If you've got an expected goal of 8.5, expected goal against a 4.7, I think that's wrong. So I'm still asking it to increase its sources for expected goals. But this analysis verdict just brings it all together. Potential for goals might be present given Sheffield Wednesday's higher both teams to score percentage and the tendency for higher corner counts. Indeed, if you can convert corners into the pressure of corners into goals like Arsenal do, it's a real source, isn't it? And you saw that team earlier on, 12 corners, Whistler, eventually it counted. Positive XG differential could limit Wednesday's attacking output. Birmingham to look to dominate at home. Sheffield Wednesday may struggle to contain them. If that fits in with the odds, because the research doesn't look at the odds, then you're good to go. Another match of interest, Leicester and Wrexham. I would be looking at the potential for Wrexham to get on the score sheet today, but get overwhelmed. They do tend to have a lot of both teams to score matches, Wrexham. They are a very solid attacking unit, but they're likely to fall foul away at Leicester. So I'll be looking for a Wrexham lead to take on in that match. Middlesbrough, very solid defensively. Let's have a look at the Middlesbrough match. I think it should bring that up. I've got other AI which looks in even greater detail, but it takes an age to analyse the matches, so I can't just run through them like I can with these. This will give you the basic information, what you need. New manager for Middlesbrough in place of Michael Carrick. That's important. Michael Carrick was a very defensively led manager. Head-to-head stats, 74% of the last 90 matches gone over 1.5 goals, which is good. If it's 0-0 at half-time, for example, you can use that stat as a trader. Both teams have scored in 37% of their head-to-heads. That's not a high percentage. Middlesbrough has seen both teams score in 63% of their games, while Stokes matches. I need to get the analysis to look at the home form for the home side and the away form for the away side. It needs to distinguish between the two. Expected goals of 7, expected goals against of 5.1. That doesn't sound right. Plus 1.9 from 7 games. Creating more high-quality chances and conceding fewer than their opponents. Stoke City, over the last same 7 games, maybe, the average. So divide 8.8 by 7 and you'll get a nearer example of their expected goals, which will be 7 into 8 is 1. It'll be about 1.2 expected goals. So that makes sense. It's over the 7 games. So that's pretty poor. It looks as if Middlesbrough are creating really solid chances from their expected goals, looking at 1 or 2 goals per game. And they are converting, as you can see, the W's. Both teams to score market could be interesting given Middlesbrough's higher both teams to score percentage this season, but Stoke's lower percentage might temper this. Over and under 2.5 goals market seems borderline. Middlesbrough's games trending over while Stoke's are closer to even. That's what I was saying earlier on. They're not pulling in the same direction. Might not be a good trading match for the goals. You need congruity. Sheffield United and Southampton. Again, we've got the new manager problem with Sheffield United. And we've got an unknown factor with the Saints. So that befits these odds. Very, very difficult to unpack. As I say, I've done the research on all of the other matches for members. I'll be putting it up in the AII, I call it. It's as many matches as I can get AI to do. I will leave it up and members can click on any of these reports for the day that they're interested in. It will do the heavy lifting for you. It will show you new managers, injuries, its expected goals and form. FA Cup qualifiers, probably no liquidity on Betfair for these. EFL Trophy has been good for favourites. And the under-21s playing against league sides have tended to lose. So we've got 4 candidates here at 7 o'clock, which will fit in perfectly with the kickoffs this evening. Professional Development League is your usual over 2.5 goal fodder. Champions League today, I've done all of the research for members in those little reports. It's the league phase, so wins are vitally important. So important, in fact, that Chelsea lost at the weekend. Liverpool lost at the weekend. Tottenham drew at the weekend. Real Madrid lost at the weekend. Club Brugge needed a 91st minute winner to get across the line. Ajax, very, very up against the cosh at the weekend, but won 2-1 at very, very short odds. Galatasaray was struggling at the weekend. Benfica just passed with a 2-1 win at the weekend. This competition is vitally important. Marseille have been brilliant. Beat Paris Saint-Germain 1-0. Excellent weekend result away from home. I think it was 2-5 win. They are chock full of goals. Aubameyang is purring. Ajax, though, we know very well, Champions League pedigree. That's going to be a fascinating fixture, but is the market far too skinny for Marseille? Do Ajax have injuries? Inter Milan, I'm still a little concerned with Chivu as the new manager. They don't have that. He doesn't have that Champions League pedigree. You've got to start somewhere. Liverpool, it's going to be a bit of a stretch of the imagination to imagine that they're going to lose 2 consecutive matches. So that's my angle in there for them today. Chelsea against Benfica. Benfica have been great at times, but they're under the special one today. Here's return to Chelsea. That's the story of the Chelsea-Benfica match today. So 1.62 for me is far too skinny, but it's probably going to highlight the gap in quality and the spending power that Chelsea have. But the special one returns to Chelsea. You probably get a good reception. Tottenham Hotspur, interesting to see them lukewarm away at Bodo Glimt. You'd have expected a Premier League side against a Norwegian elite Serie A side to be odds on, but no. Atletico Madrid, Eintracht Frankfurt, both of these coming off the back of 4-5 plus goal wins at the weekend. Away from home for Frankfurt, at home for Atletico Madrid. Hitting the spot just at the right time after having a very poor season, Atletico Madrid. Kairat Almaty, well, they got rid of Celtic, Borat's boys, but it's not going to be sexy time this evening. They're going to be done by this lot. The only thing I could think of from a value perspective would be to lay Real Madrid or back 0-0 and hope that the very, very defensive Kairat Almaty turns up today. I've done the research for members for Serie A B, or I've asked AI to do it at least, and the Eerste Divisie, so they'll have a handle in some matches you wouldn't ordinarily be researching. So that's the advantage of that. Ditto Queen's Park and Partick Thistle. I've done the research for that one. Valencia and Real Oviedo. This looks really good for Valencia today. Their win against Atletico Bilbao, flattered by a red card for Atletico Bilbao, who at the time absolutely bossed it over Valencia. They did concede 2 goals against Espanyol last match. I know because I traded. Real Oviedo are your typical newly promoted side. Only 1 win. All of the others defeats. Real struggles for Real Oviedo. I expect them to get done this evening. I will be up and about for members of Football Trading Profits probably from 12:30 onwards. I have been making some money in the reflective Youth League version of the Champions League. It can attract some liquid markets. So this might get a bit of value in backing 0-0 pre-match, given what Paphos have a reputation for being ultra defensively sound. But these under-19s do attract some liquidity, so I'll be quite happy playing them. Lots of secondary leagues as well, Serie B and the Eredivisie, so plenty for me to be doing this evening on Telegram for members. Official start 5:45, but if there is anything earlier on, I'll pass it on. Have a great day, and members, look out for the AI for today. It's got pretty much every single match of importance just analysed for you to have a quick read of. And if you're stuck for time, just head off down to the analyst verdict. And day by day, I'll be improving the analysis and be asking about the most recent expected goals in the last match, something like that as well. And looking at home form for the home side, away form for the away. Have a great day, and I will be seeing members throughout the afternoon and early evening on Telegram.